please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Good evening, City of Romulus City Council regular meeting agenda for Monday, February 11th, 2019. We took roll call at the earlier special meeting, and there is a quorum this evening. Number 1 is agenda. Number 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 19-03, and 12 is adjournment. Motion to approve the agenda this evening?
So move to approve the agenda.
Or,
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held Monday, February 4th, 2019.
So move for February the 4th, 2019.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the council meeting held Monday, February the 4th, 2019. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2B is approval of the minutes from the special meeting held Monday, February 4th, 2019. It was a closed session, attorney opinion.
So move for approval of the minutes from the special meeting held February 4th, 2019.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, for approval of the minutes from the special meeting which was held Monday, February the 4th, 2019. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
We have no petitioners this evening, so that takes us to the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk Barb. Tonight, we had a closed session meeting with an attorney discussion opinion. And at 7 p.m., we had a study session with discussing our city quarterly investments report from our treasurer, Stacy Page. At this time, I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I would like to make a motion for a memorial resolution for a long-standing business owner in the city of Romulus, Mr. Stevenson. He owned a drugstore located on Wayne Road. He since last week passed away, so I would ask the council to that we give the Mr. Stevenson a memorial resolution. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Ms. Webb, for a memorial resolution. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved. The chair now is going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I have two things here. Number one, I'd like a memorial resolution also for Todd. His last name is Hader. He passed away last week.
Support.
If I could just expand on it, he lived over on Westvale with his wife Denise. They had 2 kids. He was a retired from the United States in the Navy, and he was a member of American Legion Post 96. He was only 72 years old, and he had a terrible battle with Alzheimer's the last couple of years, and his wife Denise was there with him all the way through this. And he's, when he first moved into Romulus, he was involved in a political process. I'm sure most of us remember him, and he was a good person. And unfortunately, his time last February 4th, it came to an end. The Lord reached down and took him up, and he was buried this weekend from St. Aloysius, and we keep him in our prayers. Thank you.
Okay. Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for memorial resolution. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
And if I could, Mr. Barton, on a better note, I'd like to recognize Dave's Barbershop for being a 50-year member of our community with his barbershop. If somebody will support it, I'll expand on
Support.
that. Everybody in this town must know Dave Rackets. Him and his wife Judy opened the barbershop up, not at the original spot, but right at the corner of the 5 Points, which is now a vacant field. And in 1970, he moved to his original spot, and they're the Romulus. Both of them are born and raised in Romulus, and you know Dave over the years, he would sponsor the baseball teams, softball teams, kids stuff, and in fact the shelter that I support. So we give praise to Dave and Judy Rack for 50 years in our city.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for a resolution. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
that passed resolution, we had contact with Judy, and we're going to invite Dave to maybe try to get him to come to a meeting. So maybe if we could get that resolution, and I was going to do a proclamation if he's willing to come here and give us a couple minutes, because that's a pretty significant milestone. I'll keep you posted on when that happens, but we'd like to get him in shortly. We did get some information and history from the family today, so I'll keep you posted.
Good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
I have
Wadsworth?
one more thing to remind the public. On February the 23rd, it'll be the annual cat and dog shot day at the Romulus Animal Shelter. And this is really a good deal as far as what you have to pay. And Dr. Herman always makes a donation to the animal shelter. So it's February the 23rd at the shelter.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. I'd just like to make one comment about this weekend, this Thursday. It was a nice annual soul food dinner that was held at the high school. It was a very nice event, a large turnout. All the elected officials was serving, did a great job, and had great entertainment, and the staff and Minister Alliances, everyone did a great job.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms.
I'd like to
Webb.
put it out there, whoever made the dressing with the turkey breast, please give me a call. I tried to eat it all up. The mayor was serving it, but so I tried to remain, professional and just get a small amount
Yeah, right, Ms.
until
Webb.
he left.
Yeah, I seen you. Okay, with that, I'm gonna end that with my report. I like that.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to accept your report.
Support.
Okay, it's motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved, and thank you.
5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought a quote that I thought was pretty appropriate, and everybody has a John Dingell story, but this one was a quote of his. And when you talk to people like this gentleman who spent years, kind of shaping a lot of legislation that changed in the direction of our country in a positive way. One of the things that I remember talking to him about was what's missing more today than ever is compromise. And one of his quotes that he brought, he said, "Compromise is an honorable word. And compromise doesn't mean that everybody wins all the time. You have different branches of government, and you're trying to ultimately keep the greater good in mind." And that's really what you would hear him say a lot about, the greater good of our country. Doing things, you're going to win some and lose some in battles, but coming to a conclusion that's going to best serve the people. And so it reminded me of a conversation I had with him, and with his passing, I think it means more now with what's going on in Washington and other areas of government than ever, that we need people that are gonna find good common compromise that is gonna serve the people. And I thought also it would be appropriate, Mr. Chairman, if maybe the council would do a memorial resolution thanking him. He represented the city of Romulus at one point in time, and then we could maybe have that signed and passed on to the family and let them know how much we appreciate his representation of our community.
So move for a resolution for Congressman Dingle.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for a resolution for Congressman Dingle.
John, if I
Yes, Mr.
If I could
Wadsworth?
expand on what the mayor talked about as Congressman Dingle, you know, I think he represented us from 2001 to 2010. And, you know, in my 36 years here, he's been the only real elected federal official that didn't just give us lip service. You know, we wanted a casino once, and the people took a vote, and it passed. And it was within one vote of taking place, which it didn't happen, unfortunately, because the connection with the city of Detroit didn't want it to take place. But I also remember when the airport expanded. And I was at a meeting, they were talking about expanding this and giving millions and millions of dollars. And we brought it to his attention that the folks that lived outside of the fence needed to be taken care of. And he was kind of instrumental in the soundproofing, because he, you know, at first he said that he hadn't even thought about outside of the fence, but I said a lot of people are going to be moved, and some want to stay, some want to go, and he's seen that there was money allocated to, it probably was never enough, but he made an effort, a lot more than any federal official that's ever represented this town, and I appreciate him sitting here.
And on that same note, I know when I think it must have been late 90s, when I came in 97 on council, he helped us at the time find federal funding for, believe it or not, an overpass that we were trying to get from CSX. Now we're still fighting. Once that moved on and there was a change in the guard in Washington, that money was no longer allocated to us, but when he was fighting for us, and with it, he was able to get some things done. And I agree with Mr. Wadsworth that he not only called you back, but he would try to find a solution and fight for the community, all the communities that he represented. So I thank you for doing that.
Okay. And another thing, Mayor, on that same note, Congressman Dingle, always remember your name. It's amazing how he remembers a person's name. He can see you a year later and know your name. He was the type of person that he wasn't way up there, that he was too good for you. He would always communicate with you. I don't care what status you are, high or low. He was always a person that you could talk to and get to.
And John, Congressman Dingle was the only federal official that ever rode in our pumpkin festival.
Yeah.
I remember being on a cart with him and his wife. Yeah.
Yes, I do recall that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Also, we do have a short video clip. If we could run that, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Our community events for the next 2 weeks include Thursday, February 14th is the Valentine's Luncheon at the Senior Center at 11 a.m. Cost is $3 per person. Rescheduled from this past weekend, the Downtown Curling Royale will now be held this Saturday, February 16th from 12 to 3 p.m. at Marianne Banks Park. The Romulus VFW Post is holding a Valentine's Day dinner show on Saturday, February 16th at 6 p.m. Tickets are $25 per person. The Romulus Community Choir is still open for new members. Practices are Sundays at 3 p.m. at the Ball Road Tabernacle. Tuesday, February 19th, the Romulus Chamber of Commerce is hosting Mayor Burkroff as their speaker at the Sheraton Hotel. Registration begins at 11:30 a.m. and cost is $25 for non-members. Registrations are now being accepted for the Romulus Black History Bus Tour on Saturday, February 23rd. Cost is $2 per person with ages 12 and under free. Also Saturday the 23rd, the Romulus Animal Shelter is holding their annual Dog and Cat Inoculations Day from 9 a.m. to noon. You can also purchase your dog licenses that day. Tickets are available now for the Mother-Son Valentine Dance on Thursday, February 28th at 6 p.m. Cost is $20 per couple, and the deadline to purchase tickets is February 22nd. Events at the Romulus Public Library include Family Storytime on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, February 19th is African Folk Tales and Music with Miss Rosie at 6:30 p.m. Saturday, February 23rd is a nature program with Snowy Owls and Friends at 1 p.m. And Monday, February 25th is Anime Club at 5 p.m.
The Romulus Recreation Department, along with the Romulus Lanes, is holding their second session of youth bowling. It's going to start this Saturday, February the 16th. The cost is $5 per week, and you can sign up directly at your schools. Our midwinter break fun days are coming up soon. On Monday, February the 18th, we're going to have movies and game day at the Rack from 9 until 4 p.m. Make sure to bring a sack lunch. And then on Tuesday, February 19th, take a trip back in time, a Black History Month Underground Railroad Living Museum Flight to Freedom Experience Tour and bowling at the Romulus Lanes. The cost for both days is $25. For more information, please give me a call at 734-941-8665.
Now here's our DDA Director, Mary Drewer, announcing a new program for our Good News of the Week.
Hello everyone! I'm very excited to talk about a new program that we are rolling out this spring. In coordination with the City of Romulus and the Romulus VFW Post 9568, the Romulus DDA presents the United States Military Tribute Banner Program. The program is to recognize and honor brave individuals who are serving or have served in the United States Armed Forces. The cost to purchase a banner is $150. Each 18 by 24-inch banner will be double-sided, full color, and custom designed with an image of the honoree. The banners will be hung in downtown Romulus during the months of May and November to celebrate Memorial Day and Veterans Day respectively. At the completion of the program, the banner will be returned to the individual or family who purchased it to keep. The deadline to purchase a banner is March 29, 2019. Only 32 spaces available, so don't delay. For more information, please contact the Community Development Department at 734-942-7545.
Thanks, Mary. Please remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more info. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for the video, Raj. One last thing, just I know that Councilwoman Talley is out and just asks that we keep her dad in your prayers. It's been a long week. She had not only the soul food dinner going on, but some health issues, so encourage you to keep that family in your prayers. I do have a few action items, Mr. Chairman, to get into. If we could get into the first one, which is item A, which you have as a request to concur with the recommendation of OHM and also Roberto Scapitici, our DPW director. And what's before you is a request to concur with administration. This would be the award bid ITB 18/19-19 to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract for the 2019 concrete paving program. The streets listed are Drew, Taft, Oak Brook streets for now, and this is specified to Goritsky Construction, Inc. The amount is $332,500, and it's a 10% contingency on the projects. Those funds have been verified and budgeted and are coming out of local street routine maintenance expense account as listed above.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for ITB 18/19-19 project number 0155-180150 for the 2019 concrete paving program. And I have a question.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for the ITB 18/19-19 project number 0155-18-0150, and this is for the 2019 concrete paving program. Discussion, Mr. Wadsworth.
And I guess my question would be to the mayor, to Roberto, are we taking the complete street out or just sections of the street?
Want to come up and give the details?
And will the people be told ahead of time there's gonna be
Yeah,
quite a mess
There'll
there?
be a resident meeting for the project for Drew, Taft, and Oak Brook, actually that whole suburb area that'll be impacted by construction. It's not production-style construction, so it's not the whole street being taken out. It's slab replacement.
Okay.
But there'll be some pretty lengthy areas that'll be taken out. If you saw some of the pictures that were in the packet, you could see how distressed the road system
Well,
is.
I've been
So
there, yeah, I've seen
There
it.
are gonna be some large patches.
Very good, thank you.
Any other questions? No?
I would
Thanks,
just,
Robert.
I have a comment. I would just like to thank Roberto for going over this entire packet with me this afternoon. And also, I know that the residents on Drew, staff, and the Oak Brook subdivision area will be very happy because the roads over there are horrible. And hopefully, this is just another step toward repairing all of our roads. in the city.
Absolutely. We want to bring good projects to the residents. With that being said, I do want to note that there was a 10% contingency that we asked for. I perceive that with this project, we had slated about $600,000 for the overall project. More than likely, I'm going to bring a change order to council to extend it into other streets in that sub.
Very
So
good.
the pricing was very good. We'd like to continue with the program in there.
Sure.
Thank you, Roberto.
Thanks, Roberto.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes,
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is a recommendation from Kevin Kraus, our Fire Services Emergency Management Director, and Steve Dudek, IT Director and Legal Counsel. And it's a request to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached master service agreement amendment for clear rate communication for network connectivity for Fire Station 2 at 7221 Middle Belt. Those funds have been verified and budgeted and are available out of the telephone account.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms.
I'll
Roscoe.
make that motion for the clear rate agreement for Fire Station Number 2 connectivity.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the clear rate agreement for the Fire Station Number 2 connectivity. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
yes,
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next is item C, and there's two different motions required. These are DDA related. The first is a recommendation to concur with the administration and approve the reappointment of Doug Clark and Doug O'Leary to the Downtown Development Authority with terms to expire on July 31st of 2022.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the reappointment of Doug Clark and Doug O'Leary to the Downtown Development Authority.
support,
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the appointment of Doug Clark and Don O'Leary to the Downtown Development Authority. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
yes,
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the second one is a request to concur with administration and approve the appointments, new appointments of Randy Moffett with term to expire December 31st of 19, and Jeremy Westcott with a term to expire February 28th of 2022 to the Downtown Development Authority.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the appointment of Randy Moffett, term expired December of 2019, and for Jeremy Westcott for his term to expire February 28th of 2022.
Support.
A motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. And this is for the approval of appointments of Randy Moffett with a term to expire December 31st, 2019, and Jerry Westcott with a term to expire February 28th, 2022 to the Downtown Development Authority. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes,
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The last action item I have is a budget amendment, and this request is to concur with administration, introduce budget amendment 18/19-21 to authorize the transfer of funds for the court building debt service fund to the court building construction fund as requested by the DPS director, Robert McCrate, for the additional cost for bid pack 3A for that project of the court.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for introduction of budget amendment 18/19-21 for the court debt service fund.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, for introduction of budget amendment 18/19-21, court debt service fund. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Reed.
I would just like to let it be known that I spoke with Mr. McCray, the building director, concerning this line item, and I was satisfied with his response. Thank you.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my action items.
Thank you, Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report, and City Clerk Ellen Craig Bragg, she does not have anything under her report this evening. Under her information items, there's a public hearing notice for Great Lakes Water Authority. And the other item is a 2018 Planning Commission end of the year report. So 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and audience. As Mayor Pro Tem did state, I did have a study session earlier this evening on the city quarterly investment report. And then also, I would like to remind taxpayers that tax day is approaching this week. It is Thursday, February 14th. And that is the due date, and office hours are open from 8 till 4. Any questions, call the treasurer's office at 734-942-7580. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment, and this is a part of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address City Council. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and when acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes. Additional time must be by consent of the chairperson. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office or used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address City Council. And we do not have any written requests this evening.
Okay. Any comments from the audience? Yes, come up, please. Okay.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Dolores Williams. I'm a resident of Romulus. I live on Chamberlain Street, 5907. About a month ago, my car got stolen out of my driveway. It's so dark on my street. I'm a senior citizen. I live alone, and they just took my car. So I wanted to know, what can I do to get maybe some lighting down there? We have one light, it's on the corner of Avalon and Chamberlain. The other light is across the street of Van Born on the other side of Chamberlain on the Wayne side. So I just wanted to know, what can I do to get maybe a street light down there, because it's really dark. And I'm really afraid to come out of my house at night.
We'll get her information, Mr. Chairman, and explain the whole process.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? We'll close that part out.
8 is unfinished business. 9 is new business.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
New business? Yes. I would like to make a motion concerning the verbiage that's read pertaining to public comment. I would ask that the council support that the clerk refrain from reading this portion that she reads under public comment. This public meeting shall not be used for campaign nor elected office. This verbiage is not included on the back of our agenda, so I make a motion that the clerk refrain from reading that portion.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Williams. Who supported that?
I did.
supported by Ms. Abdo. Any discussion?
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
I don't, I have mixed feelings about this. I have no problem with somebody coming here and saying that I'm a candidate for this or that, but I don't want them to stand there with their platform and go on and on and on. And, for us to pass a resolution against one of our own up here, that what they can or can't say, I don't think that's proper. I don't think that's proper at all.
You must not be understanding it. It's not saying what someone can. This is saying that a resident under public comment, Mr. Wadsworth, we're limiting them of what they can say. Once we give them 3 minutes, they should be able to speak from whatever they heart desire, as long as they're not being disrespectful. So evidently you have it twisted.
No, I don't have it twisted.
Yeah,
The
you have to.
charter says that 6.7 that we allow the public a reasonable time to speak. It's been that way as long as I've been here. I know there's been a few times heated, and there has been some campaigning in the past, other than just them saying that I'm a candidate. And I just don't feel that we should pass a resolution against another elected official to try to curtail what he or she can say.
John?
Yes.
Well, this is the council's meeting.
Right.
And rules regarding the public addressing of a city meeting are on the back. I do not feel anything more should be added. That's all she's asking.
Yeah.
That this be
He's got it.
what is here, and not to add anything more. This is our meeting. We determine the rules of it. I have no problem with everything that's read here on the back.
I don't either.
Well, what Ms. Williams is saying, things have been
Something
added to
added.
it that aren't on the back. And
That were trying to impede an elected official what he or she can say.
No.
And as long as it's reasonable and not detrimental or being derogatory, I don't have a problem with it.
well, that's what she's saying.
Right, and another thing, you have to realize that you don't want people to come up here and campaign as far as what proposals not to say and what proposal for or against. I think that's why it's read into the minutes. I know that I've been getting some calls too, and they like the way that the minutes are read. No campaigning, no discussion for or against the proposals. So I don't see why I need to be added.
Through the chair. I agree with the motion that my colleague made. I also agree with the support from my colleague. Having retired from the city clerk's office as a deputy city clerk a number of years, we've never had a problem with that. We've never had a problem with informing someone that they cannot come up and campaign. We, as elected officials, including administration, city clerk, etc., we campaign every day. We campaign when we're sitting up here. And as far as Mr. Wadsworth, your conversation is we should not go against our own. We're not. There are only 7 of us. The clerk is not a council member. And whatever is read into the record has to come before us 7 council members. Now, that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. It should never have gotten to the point that we, as a legislative body, has to vote on something that has always been. It's on the very back of the agenda, and this is what the residents get, the people get when they come in here. There's nothing else been added. Now, if there's something that the administration wants to add, it should be brought to the legislative body. You don't just do something just because. We make the rules here. Not the mayor, not the clerk, not the treasurer. It's the legislative body. At least give us the respect to say whether we want it on there or whether we don't.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
And
I would just like to, go ahead.
I don't disagree with anything you said, Mrs. Webb, but if we're gonna do something and change the meeting, maybe we should have a meeting ourselves, among ourselves, that I come to the meeting tonight and this is tossed out. That's all I would ask.
But through the chair, if I
Yes,
may,
Ms.
I have
Webb.
to answer that question, Mr. Wadsworth. We've gone over this before. A few months ago, we have asked.
Yes.
We voted on it. We've asked that this stop happening, and it has not stopped. So, Councilwoman Williams decided to make the motion, and this is where we are, because when we ask for something, we don't seem to get it. I don't want it out in the public either, because it makes me look like there's something wrong with me, having to defend the legislative body.
Well, I still feel that we should have had a meeting prior to this
And you have your vote.
in closed session.
What I want to say on behalf of, this is your rules, absolutely. You set the rules and what conduct. The clerk, I know, she's not here. In all fairness, I know that she had a direct conversation with our city attorney about the wording. I know that there have been cases that the attorneys expressed to me that when you have people come to the podium and we're paying, using tax dollars, and they're leveraging their personal message or political message on those, there have been cases that have come back. And I know that I would suggest you probably at least let Ellen have a say in it based on what the attorney's advice to her. I was not in on that discussion, but she met with the city attorney for that verbiage. So with her not even being here, I would just ask that you concur with what her feelings are. You're gonna vote on what you want, on them or off of them. I'm good with that, but I would just ask that as a courtesy.
And through the chair, if I may, I respect our clerk, I respect our administration, but this is not a clerk's call, this is not an administration call. This is the legislative body call.
Yes.
And I would just like to say, behind what the mayor said, I spoke with Ellen and to inform Mr. Wadsworth, and I also spoke with our chairman, Mr. Barton. And the comment to me was, well, it wasn't an agreement. The clerk said it was up to our mayor pro tem. So I spoke with some of our council members. John said we need to take it to a vote. That's why we're here. It's not a backdoor deal. It's a lot of things that have been done here at the council that wasn't discussed beforehand. You have to remember, every last one of us, when we knock on people's doors and when we talk to the public, we're telling them to come tell your issues. If it end up being a question about a ballot proposal, if it end up being something political, this is the arena. I have seen so many of us sitting here that will go to church and talk politics. So how do we stop the residents from coming to the council and speaking on a ballot question? Maybe they have a question they want answered. This is the arena. I don't understand it. You give them 3 minutes. As I said to our chairman, if they're out of order, all they have to do is hit the gavel. That's what it's for. You don't lock and tie down the residents. I just don't agree with that. I stood out there for almost 8 years behind that podium. I know how it feels to not be allowed to say something that maybe the sitting council don't want to hear. It's so simple. All we have to do is allow the residents their 3 minutes. If they're out of order, the mayor pro tem can hit the gavel. Simple as that. But I do not want to be a part of blocking a resident or stopping a resident from speaking and what they can say under their 3 minutes. And that's just my opinion.
Well, it was read that the ballot proposal, you can't be for or against it. That's campaigning. If you're for it, that's campaigning. I know I spoke with Ms. Williams. She said she have no problem with people coming up here campaigning. That's why I said have a vote on it. When you say you're against something or with something, that's campaigning.
If I could just expand on them, Mr. Barton, I have no problem with anybody coming up here saying I'm for or against something. I just, I don't want them to, I'm not against anybody with their opinion in an election to be for or against. I think that's acceptable here.
Okay.
I just want to.
But I think this is something that we could have done behind closed doors and taken care of it.
Would you like to?
It's everything shouldn't be behind closed doors. The public, this been read for the last 6 months, if not longer. So the public need to know that this is being stopped, or we're taking a vote to attempt to stop it, Mr. Wadsworth. I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's a yes or a no. I mean, either you for the public having their 3 minutes or you're not.
I've been here for 36 years. I've never been against the public speaking their mind, dear good Lord. I've many times asked the chairman through Mary Ann Banks, Randy Gear, Leroy Burkhoff, and John Barton, let this person talk some more. So don't make the comment that I'm against the public talking. That's totally ridiculous, totally ridiculous.
Okay, we okay, well, I'm let, Ms.
One comment that I have over the whole situation, I think it's gotten blown completely out of proportion, first of all. Second of all, if, what should be read is what's on the back of the agenda, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that solves all the problems. What the public gets when they come in the door is what gets read. So there's no misunderstanding as to what they can say and what they cannot say. I think a lot of times it gets out of hand when the public comes up and talks because they get very argumentative and, you know, kind of make accusations against people that are out of line. But if what is read is on the back of our agenda, then we shouldn't have any problems up here.
And I agree with that, because we do have a mayor pro tem. If someone comes up here, their 3 minutes is up, he's to hit the gavel. If a person is out of control, he hits the gavel. He runs the meeting. So if our mayor pro tem runs the meeting properly, then we don't have a problem.
And if we decide to add things or take away things, then it should be on the back of the agenda, it should be in writing.
Yes.
And approve.
Voted on.
Excuse me, John.
And there should be no reason for us to have to vote on anything. It's right on the back of the agenda, that's what should be read.
John.
Ms. Abdo.
And if there are any changes that are going to ever be made to the back of the agenda, it should go through council, though, for the rules regarding how we run our meeting.
Well, would y'all like to have a meeting with the council instead of voting and stuff? You can withdraw a motion.
Motion on the floor.
Mr. Chair,
You can withdraw a motion.
I don't really see why we need to have a meeting about anything. It's on the back of our agenda, that's what should be read, that's what's there, that's what the public gets when they come in the door.
Okay,
I don't see where there's anything to vote on.
And I
Right
agree with
here in
that
black and
totally.
white.
okay. You said, Mr. Wadsworth said you agree with nothing to vote on.
It's right here.
Yeah, I know.
They walk
So
in the
it's
door,
it's a motion on the
they
floor
know what they
now.
can do and what they can't do.
Are you speaking about the motion on the floor now?
Right.
Or which one you talking about, nothing to vote on? You say nothing to vote on, there's a motion on the floor.
Through the chair, if I may, I think when she was speaking, was voting that the clerk doesn't read anything. But if we are on one accord up here, and the deputy clerk can take this back, the information, this is what we want read, and this only, because this is what the previous council members, the legislative body, has put together without any, anything else on there. We don't wanna, we don't wanna hear all of that, because this is what we want to hear, this is what we want to see. And I don't know why we would need a vote on that, but the only thing is, if it's read again, then we'll have to stop the meeting and take a vote on it. If something else is read other than what's on the back of this agenda.
Mr. Chairman, my last comments are, it's not my vote, I don't have any say in it. I think it looks bad when you don't even have a full council, you don't even have a clerk, and you're gonna take a vote on something she's reading. So I just think there's a different way to handle it, but that's my 2 cents, and whatever you want.
I do agree with that.
But we
Okay,
just
just a minute,
decided
just
not to
hold-
take a vote.
Okay, hold on. I just wanna ask, who agree with, we shouldn't take a vote? I know it's a motion on the floor. I know Mr. Wadsworth, you,
I'm not,
Let me clear something out that, because this don't make no sense. So, we don't have to take a vote. If the council agreed that the only thing is read is what's on the back of the agenda, I'm okay with that. Mr. Burden, I went based on what you and our clerk said, that we would take it to a vote. That's why I asked for a vote. But My concern is that this be refrained from being read. As long as it's not read, I'm okay. We don't have to take a vote. And to the mayor, with one person being missing, that's happened plenty of times and we never had a problem with voting. But if the council agree that this is the only thing to be read moving forward, I'm okay with that. I will remove my motion from the floor.
Start down here. I have no problem with that at all.
Mr. Wadsworth?
I
Yes.
have no problem with that.
Should be read what's on the back.
Ms. Webb?
Read what's on the back of the agenda.
Ms. Abdo?
I agree, read what's on the back.
Chair agreed. Good, withdraw your motion.
Let's move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
That was long.
Okay.
Okay.
So you withdraw your motion? And Ms. Abdo, you
Second.
second your
I
withdraw,
withdraw.
right?
Sure.
Okay, it's off the table. Next.
Okay, number 10 is communication.
Patient? Okay.
Number 11 is warrant -03.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 19-03 for the following amounts. General Fund, $135,074.47. Major Street Fund, $23,145.06. Local Street Fund, $17,973.92. Excuse me. Cable TV, $104.23. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $3,214.97. Street Lighting Fund, $83,185.95. Oakwood SAD, $128.81. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $273. CDBG, $466.75. 9/11 Service Fund, $401.50. Library Fund, $5,021.06. DDA, $2,986.42. Tifa District 2, $11,605.68. Vining Road Extension, E-Course Construction, $25,865.39. Water and Sewer Fund, $512,216.93. Motor Vehicle, $17,553.65. Technology Services, $6,210.45. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $192,242.95. Revolving Fund, $4,571.75. Current tax, $7,360.28. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $2,371.85. Payroll Fund, $315,097.56. Totaling all funds, $1,367,072.63.
Support.
Thank you.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to pay warrant number 19-03 for $1,367,072.63. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant number 19-03 will be paid.
Number 12 is
So
adjournment.
moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.